Hey guys, thanks for joining me. And if you like what you see, please subscribe.
Hello, peoples. Welcome to Sharp Ends. So today I want to do a review of this Creely Blades Omnivore. Creely might be familiar to you, that name, because they make such things as the Mako, which is an incredible little in-pocket carry that I talk about all the time. But what's missing from this knife, you might ask? It is a flat grind over here, and it's a chisel grind over here, meaning that when you slice, the things peel away to the right. They makes this and left and right-handed versions. But first, I'm going to ask for you to leave a comment, subscribe, and like. All the comments really help the channel. So yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. Or become a Patreon member by following the link down below. So yeah, this is Magnacut. And a chisel grind. So I was very interested in this. And for comparison, this is the Petty Z from Bark River. So about the same kind of knife. And the purpose of this knife is to be a prep knife in the kitchen. I'm a big cook. I like cooking. I was very curious about a chisel grind in general. It's about a 4.5-inch blade and 9 inches overall, whereas the Petty Z is about a 4.25-inch blade and about 9 inches overall. So yeah, I did a comparison video of this, and the link to that will be up there about like different cuts that you can do with this. This actually cuts really well, and it cuts meat really well too. It has a nice amount of belly here. And the secondary, the chisel grind itself, the secondary grind here is very steep and makes it very thin behind the edge. So it works surprisingly well to slice through anything without any problems. Tomatoes, carrots, it doesn't split the carrot and it slices it. And in fact, this is almost like a mandolin. Do you know what a mandolin is? It's one of those things where you can, shave off your fingers. By that, I mean it has a blade that comes up and down of the surface, and then you run the food over on top of it, and it does really thin slices. This is basically like a handheld mandolin. That's how thinly you can cut things with this. It stayed sharp very easily. I haven't had to do anything really. I don't think I've even stropped it, and it's still razor sharp. Like, cutting hair off the arm sharp. Creely Blades uses very high-end steels for all their knives. They have like the Folklore and a bunch of other knives too you might have heard of, and he uses a lot of different kinds of steels. But for his kitchen knives, he's been using Magnacut, I guess. Yeah, so they're very limited on the amount of colors that you can get on the scales. I went with ivory. I just looked on the website. Seems like they're out of stock right now. This is a fairly expensive knife, but it's made, I think, right here in Pennsylvania where I live. And, American made, obviously. Removable scales. This G10 I thought would get dirty, but it doesn't actually get dirty. I thought I would like pick up everything and just get dirty real fast, but it hasn't. It's actually I've been able to keep it clean relatively easily. And cleaning the blade too, sometimes, when you're cleaning a belt grind blade like this and you use a washer and you rub back and forth with a sponge, you can end up getting scratches that go against the belt finish of this. But I haven't had that happen on this. I've been very careful to only wash it in line with the belt lines. But that is something that I don't necessarily like on kitchen knives, is when there are belt lines and they're not tumble finished. Like this is tumble finished or satin finished, right? And this hides kind of the lines of the washing it, right? More, better, easier than a belt finish. This costs a lot of money. This costs about $335, a little over $300, I believe. And right now, the wait time is 4 to 6 months. This is made for left-handers as well as right-handers. In other words, the chisel grind can be on the other side. So this is definitely a high-end kitchen knife. I will say, though, that this is absolutely a pleasure to use to prep food. I like it a lot. When I'm comparing it to the Petty Z, which is a Bark River, knife that's made for prepping food, I actually like it better than the Petty Z. Both of them fit really well into the hand and have a nice amount of rocker and belly on them for nice slicing motions and for rocking motions. However, this is a little bit thinner behind the edge, slices just a little bit better, and feels a little bit more comfortable in the hand. And it's not necessarily that the ergos on this Petty Z are bad. It's just that the handle is fairly thin, and on a kitchen knife, you kind of want something a little bit thicker. You want something to fill out the inside of your hand. I've got big meat claws, and I like that better. Now, when I'm slicing, I'm usually holding my finger and my thumb right here, and then I'm slicing like this, right? And I'm pushing down. I'm not necessarily doing a full 4-finger grip, but for some reason, it still feels more comfortable. And there's more. The blade is taller, too, than the Petty Z. It's kind of the same height as something like this Alder, which is from North Arms. A nice tall amount so that your fingers underneath the blade aren't going to hit the cutting board as you cut. So this is expensive. Is it worth it? I think it's worth it, especially if you're a cook and you like things like this. This is also kind of knife that you could easily get. Like if you're into knives, but your significant other is not into knives, but they are into cooking, this knife, I think, would be a game changer for them. I think they would really, really appreciate this because of how nicely it cuts. And it's such a unique grind to it. And I really didn't know what to expect from it, but I'm a convert. I mean, this is just absolutely stunningly useful and really nice. Like I said, it's like a mandolin. It's like having a mandolin in your hand, but safer because a mandolin will take off your fingers because you forget to put on those stupid little gloves, and then you shave part of it off, and then you go to the emergency room. Not that I'm speaking from experience, but having said that, I love this knife. So Creely blades. You hit it out of the park on this one. The only thing that I could possibly say bad about it is I wish it was more of a satin finish rather than a belt finish, but that's a quibble because I haven't even had that problem with getting scratch marks on the blade. All around, just a phenomenal knife. So thanks so much for joining me, guys. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. And if you want to win a knife every month, you get a chance by becoming a Patreon member. Follow the link down below. $3 a month. You too can possibly win a knife and support this content. Thank you so much to my subscribers and my Patreon crew. You guys make this happen, and I really appreciate everything you do for me. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time on Sharp Ends. Bye-bye now.